Okay. Okay, it looks like maybe I got a couple people in here. Anyhow, yeah, I just wanted to come up and do a little rant. I think it needs to be said anyhow because I feel that way, okay? Because the truth is the truth. It just amazes me how we live in a criminal cartel. We live in a system and a world that's nothing more than a mafia, a street gang, thugs, total criminal, okay? I'm just going to use this country for the good example, the USA. Okay, the supposed land of the free. That's right, home of the brave. When in reality, it's the land of the enslaved, home of the cowards. Okay, it's never been a land of the free. It's never been a land of the brave. That's for damn sure. Okay, what you call brave is manipulation and lies. It's nothing but a criminal mafia, criminal cartel. I'll give you some prime examples. Okay, laws. We got more laws than any other country in the globe. We got so many laws you can't even know them all. Nobody could. Okay, you have to have a library. You have to go to school for 7 years. You got to have an entire library that gets bigger and bigger every year. Okay, another gigantic thick book added every single year of new laws, on top of laws, on top of more laws, and on top of more laws. Okay, there's so many laws that there ain't no such thing as a law-abiding citizen in the United States of Nazi America, whatever you want to call it. Okay, in this criminal empire. Now they're going to tell you that it's not their job to educate to the laws. Well, if you're not educated to the rules that they expect you to uphold, you cannot be held accountable for not upholding them. That's right up entrapment. Okay, that's right up there at the top with the mafia, the street gang, paying for protection when you're a business owner, like you've seen in the movies. It's right there in your face. Now I'll give you another example. You know, property taxes. Okay, well, property taxes are supposed to go to maintain your infrastructure. At least that's the lie they sold you. It sure is. So, in the town I'm in, there's thousands of homes, okay? Thousands and thousands of them, right? And that city's collecting property taxes on the entire county, okay? And my city just happens to be the county seat, so all the property taxes for all the farms and all the little towns in this county all go to the same place and are supposed to keep the infrastructure up. And so here they are doing a public meeting online that they do once a month. And here they are talking about trying to get this money from the government, that's right, from the government to fix the roads. Really? So why would you need money from the government to fix the roads? Where's the property taxes going? Oh, that's right. It's going in these people's pockets. Why do you think a mayor or a governor is living in a mansion? Because they're taking the money that's supposed to fix the infrastructure and fixing their pocketbooks. But we do nothing about it. No, no, not at all. You're not allowed to own your property. If you bought the land, you'd always have to pay a tax on it to somebody that didn't own it to begin with. But if your name was Rockefeller, you'd have a special piece of paper that says you own your property and you don't pay no taxes on it neither. And nobody can ever take it from you. Oh, by golly, huh? But don't worry, we're not in a criminal system. I mean, it's okay. You know why? His name was Rockefeller. He was above the rules. Just you cattle, you sheep, you peasants, you're not. And I can keep going on and on and on with this shit, okay, all day long. to show you how you live in a criminal enterprise. And it's not just one place in this world that this is happening, it's happening everywhere, all over the planet. That's right. And it just amazes the hell out of me how people got so stupid and how people got so cowardly. How they just sit back and take what the thugs dish out, man, bend over. Oh, but I'm scared. Yeah, that's right. It's like, and this year's been a hell of a good wake up call for a lot of people, I hope. I hope. I mean, it's Agenda 21 all day long. It really is. I ain't got nothing I can say about it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. 10 to 21 all day long. And here we are living in this world of illusions and mirages and fantasies. Y'all are sitting there, well, this is a lot, the selection is coming up here. Yep, we're right on top of selection day. And you all fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, the majority of the people out there. And they're going to be mad when they don't get the next actor. Yeah, actor. Like Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe, the actor? He got everybody freaking wool pulled over their eyes. You listening to him report how he's got dementia and he's got this wrong with him, he's got that wrong with him. Well, so did Hillary Clinton. And as soon as the selection was over, she was all better again. She had instant cure. That's right. She had the miracle drug. It was instant cure. Well, of course, that's what sheep do. The only people that would do that are people who are asleep that ain't awake. The only thing I can say about that statement without saying the name is it wouldn't matter what the name was. If you studied NWO for 22 years and you're voting, obviously you didn't learn a thing in 22 years. So I don't know why you bothered studying because you sure didn't maintain anything or retain anything out of it. You learned absolutely nothing from it. That's what that would say. That's the big suggestion right there, right in your face. It says the real truth. The real truth is the guy's asleep, sound asleep. What can I say, man? I told you I lived in a zombie apocalypse. That we're surrounded by zombies. The only difference between it and Hollywood is in Hollywood they eat brains, and in today's society there is no brains. That's the only difference. They don't have common sense. They don't have logic. They don't retain information. Look at the attention span of most people. What is it, 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops? Most people don't remember something that they learned yesterday. It's gone by the next day. Whoo! Completely gone. And meanwhile, we live in a system of actors and criminals. Just like when I hear about the monetary system and the fall of America, money, the market crashing, and our dollar being switched over, everybody losing, okay, because the dollar crashed, okay, you know, a man-made construct to begin with, all of it was. You know why gold was valuable? Because man accepted it to be. You know why diamonds are valuable? Because man accepted it to be. They have no pretend value. You know what real value is? Shelter, food, water. I dare you to live without them. Live where I'm living. Live in Iowa, live in Minnesota, live in South Dakota, live in Wisconsin. Should I go on? Live in Nebraska. That's right, live in Illinois, live in these states, New York, okay? Live on the East Coast states, Michigan, and so on. I dare you to live there. January, February, yeah, that's right, December, winter months. I dare you to live there without shelter, without food, and without water. Yeah, just try that out and see how it works out for you, okay? Okay, I'll just give you a bunch of gold and silver. That'll take care of you, right? Watch and see. When there ain't no food on the shelves, what becomes valuable? I'll bet you nobody will trade the last of their food and survival situation for your gold and silver. See, the thing is it's all a man-made construct. And since the dollar was supposed to be backed by gold and silver, and they took that away from it many years ago when Tricky Nicky was in office, well, that ain't been backed by nothing since. And it don't seem like we've crashed in that many decades, right? Right. That's because if there is a crash, it's like everything else that's going on, it's all man-made. It's deliberately done. Like all the fires that was burning, man-made, deliberately done. Like when Dunn Sense showed the other day, all of these earthquakes in a 24-hour period were right next to high electricity tension lines or generating stations of electricity all across America. That's no accident. Nope, sure isn't. It's not a coincidence. It's not an accident. Welcome to Agenda 21. All over. Look at the meat plants that burnt down. Look at the superstorms and all the crops lost this year. That's right. There's your food's going on out the door on you, right under your nose. As they got the First Amendment of your Constitution sitting in the House using QAnon, okay, using Mr. Q PSYOP that's been all over the net, created by the powers to be. Just like anything else, another PSYOP being used to take a right away from you. So now your First Amendment's going to go out the door. Meanwhile, they're bringing in your Fourth Industrial Revolution. But you're going to tell me you live in an honest society, huh? You're going to tell me we're not in the land of a bunch of cowards? It could have never gotten this bad without a bunch of cowards, because the only way it could have ever gotten this far is from a bunch of cowards and massive brainwashing. And really, it's massive brainwashing, mind control from the very beginning that led you down this rabbit hole. But because you can't pay attention to what's going on around you isn't my fault. That's your fault. And when you do see what's going on, you turn your head and look the other way because it scares you. There's that coward I was talking about. And when you say, well, there ain't nothing I can do about it, blah, 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 and blow it off because you can't do anything about it, well, you've already programmed yourself not to do anything about it, and that's more of that coward coming out. Yep, that's what that is. That's your lack of critical thinking skills. That's your lack of wanting to come together. Oh, that's right, that's division, man. Y'all got to be competing against one another. Remember, you got to be one up in one another. You got to be mad at each other. You got to hate each other. And pretty soon, in a neighborhood near you, you're going to be allergic to each other too. Stand back. You're closer than 6 foot. That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be stand back. You're closer than 6 foot. You can't do this. Get away from me. You'll make me sick. While you're wearing your diaper on your face, you'll be making that kind of statement. Because they don't got a diaper on their face and because you fought for everything that's fed to you. You know, you're in the middle of a pandemic. The hospitals are empty. The clinics are empty. Medical workers are being laid off, let go. Because you're in the middle of a pandemic. But, hold on a minute. That's the exact opposite of what a pandemic would be. For real. Well, no, they said everybody's too scared to come here because they might get sick. Ah, bullshit. I call it bullshit. If you really had a pandemic going, people would be sick. And they would be going there. But by nobody going there tells you screaming news flash, There was no pandemic. Now they're creating a shot for something that was never there. Okay, I won't go any further on that topic. And so many of you are going to say, yeah, man, yeah. You know, I mean, what can I say, man? That's called sudden brain death. It's happened to so many. So many suffer, I don't know if you want to call it brain death, from the brain rape, the brainwashing. I don't know what you might want to call it. I just know that we're in a deep load of shit. We all sure are. I mean, usually everybody's floating down shit creek without a paddle. And they know most of you don't even know you are. Most of you haven't got the first clue that you've been shipped right on down shit creek without a paddle. Most of you just out here just going right along. Yep. And you know, and the sad thing is that, you know, how can they enforce laws on you that they don't force on themselves? Oh, that's right, because of our cowardism. Because of how big of cowards we are. How do you think they keep getting by with what they're getting by? They got you all scared. So fucking scared, just shaking in your shoes. And you're scared for multiple reasons. Some of you are just too scared you won't fit in with the rest. And you don't want to be ostracized. That's right, you won't fit in with the rest of the sheep. They're brain dead. Better to be brain dead than to be alone. Yeah. So there's one of your class of cowards. Then you got your other class of cowards. That scares me. I'm not going near it. I'll run. I'll turn and look the other way. Yep. To what you see going on around you. There's your next class of cowards. See, we have many classes of cowards. That's where it comes from, man. I don't know what to tell you other than you live in a criminal cartel. There's no excuse in living hell for anybody to be living in poverty. There's no excuse for homelessness whatsoever. You know the only excuse you have? Selfishness and greed. It's the only excuse you have. It's only one reason somebody would be homeless: selfishness and greed. It's only one reason people are going to be going without food: selfishness, power, and greed. See, all three of them go together hand in hand. There's a fourth one that goes there too. It's called ego. That's right. Your ego makes you feel better, bigger, above somebody else. You raise yourself to God status when you ain't nothing but a piece of shit that fell out somebody's you know what. It's what happens when you don't have true care. Care's gone, man. You know the cremation of care? The majority of people don't have care in them. They don't have a lick of care for anybody but their own selfish self. You're right exactly where powers to be want you. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. Good little slave. Sure glad you're a good little slave. That's what that comes down to. I know I'm probably pissing people off saying this. Do you think I care? No. Well, you might hurt somebody's feelers. Oh well. Now it's time to grow up and get over it. Don't worry, here before long, none of us will be able to talk out because you won't have a First Amendment no more. And why did that happen to you? Because you turned your back and looked the other way, and none of you care about your First Amendment right anyhow. Don't tell me anybody cares about their First Amendment. I didn't want to hear about how people care about their First Amendment right, freedom of speech. They can't say they honestly care. People been showed this by more than me, and nobody's talking about it nowhere. Everybody's blowing it off like it ain't even happening. I'm watching it happen with my own eyes. I'm watching all these people that know about this, was told about it, that don't go look for themselves, and even when they're showing it, just turning their head and looking the other way. I'm literally watching with my own eyes, even all over the net. Okay? So what does that tell me? Tells me none of you give a fuck about your Constitution anyhow. You don't give a shit about your first Bill of Rights or anything. You don't give a shit about freedom of speech. You don't give a shit about nothing. Don't worry. When you start giving a shit, it'll be too late. You'll only be giving a shit because there's a gun to the back of your head, or you're being let off to a concentration camp. Or because there's no food on the shelves in the stores. Or because they told you they locked down on top of no food in the stores. You know, you're going to give a shit when it affects you and you only. Because you're all about yourself, right? Right. You don't care about nothing else, right? Right. And that can only get you one place, dead. That mentality gets us one place. Fall of America. Lots of people get to be dead, die. And they'll be dying from being too stupid to be alive. Okay, most all of you be on your damn knees, all bent over, begging. That's what most all of you are going to be doing. Real men, real women, where? I'm looking. Where? See, that's the big question. Where? Oh, yeah, we hear a lot of loudmouths. We hear a lot of people hiding behind a keyboard wanting to show their face. Yeah, we got a lot of them keyboard warriors. Why do you think they're keyboard warriors? Because they're cowards. See the classification of cowards? Told you there's many other classifications. That's what it comes down to. The classification of cowards. I'm a keyboard warrior. Hold on, guys. So, yeah. It just amazes me. You know, I got thinking about that, looking at I've always known about this anyhow. I've told people you don't own your house. I own my house. No, you don't. Unless your name's Rockefeller, you don't own your house. That's correct. If your name's Rothschild or Rockefeller or J.P. Morgan, or, if your name is some one of them 13 families, Reynolds, if your name's one of them 13 families, you own your house, you own your land, you own your property, and you'll never pay taxes. And nobody can ever take it from you. Even if you don't pay a penny, ain't nobody can take it from you because it's yours. But for the rest of us, no, you don't own your house. You pay somebody that never owned it to begin with. You spend 40 years of your life buying your house, and you probably finally got it paid off, still don't own it. Still don't own it. That's what that comes down to. And I don't hear you bitching about it. I don't hear you standing up saying, what the hell? I don't see you trying to fight for the right to actually own what you bought. Nope. You just accept it and bend on over. That's all you do. You just accept it and bend on over. And that's what I watch people do in masses, is accept whatever's told to them. Put a diaper on your face. Okay. Make sure and keep 6 foot. Pretty soon it'll be 12 foot. Okay. That's right. Bend over and stick this cactus in your rear end. Okay. That's right. Sorry, the food's gone, but you can eat my shoe leather. These were my old shoes that are worn out, but go ahead and boil the leather and you can eat that. Okay. That's what I see going on. You say, why don't you say anything? Why don't you stand up for yourself? Oh, I'm scared. Yep, that's the real reason. Why don't you say something about it? No, I'll be ostracized. I couldn't do that. It's pathetic, man. You know, this is why I said, man, it's over. It's over, man. It's over. If I can find my spaceship, I'll be on my way out. But I don't need my spaceship to be on my way out. I'm telling you. I already know that my days are numbered. My health is stacked against me. You know, so I know that one day, in the not too long future, that's right, I won't be here anymore. And I'm okay with that. That's right. I am literally, seriously okay with that. See, I think I'd rather be on the other side than be here anyhow. Because why would anybody want to be in a world where you claim your kids are your number one that you're looking out for, and it's all illusion, it's fantasy? No, it isn't. Your kids ain't what you're looking out for. You're looking out for yourselves. I am not. Oh, yeah, you are. If you cared about your kids half as much as you claim you care about your kids, you couldn't allow what's happening to happen. Well, I can't do anything. Well, see, it's because you don't really love your kids as much as you said you did, huh, parents? Huh, parents? But unfortunately, most of the parents are sound asleep. They don't even know what's going on. Even though all the information is all around them, but when somebody tried to tell them they didn't want to hear that, and they got called names and made fun of, so then they shut up. Yep, so the shaming tactics work. Yep. So, this is where it comes from. I just wish the people would get their heads out of their, you know what? I really do. I wish people would get their heads out of their, you know what, and stop complying in mass numbers all over the world. But I don't see that happening. What I see happening is people are following orders and they're bringing in your second lockdown in lots of places right now. And they've been ramping it up over here in the land of Nazi America, and they've been ramping it up. We got the second wave coming in now, something that never existed. Well, I think it existed because I know there was a pandemic. Yep, right, sure. Sure, there wasn't. There's never been one. Sure not. And all of the evidence was right in your face. You couldn't get around it. But so many people argue all day long with you how there is. And the lying medical staff, yep, already knows full well there isn't. But for the tool, yep, for their job, that's right. They'll go ahead and lie to you. No big deal. We'll lie to you because we don't want to lose our job. That's our tool. Yep, and part of Agenda 21 is to bring the medical system down worldwide. What do you think Fourth Industrial Revolution is part of New World Order? Because it is to literally change everything. From the way you live to the way you travel to how you go to a doctor to everything. I mean everything. Everybody's belief systems, everything, and I mean everything. Hospitals, I call them the Nazi centers right now. They're nothing but order followers for the tool. They don't give a shit if they lie to you. They don't give a shit about nothing. The only thing they care about is the tool. Yep, they'll put on their act to pretend to care about you because that's what that is. Some more actors. That's what we got, man. I mean, I'm telling you, man, we got actors everywhere. See, it's just not in Hollywood, man. Every time you turn on CNN, ABC, CBS, Fox, you see actors. When you turn on YouTube, you go around YouTube, you find phony, fake actors everywhere. I mean everywhere. And I'm not talking about employees of the establishment. And a lot of these people on YouTube are egomaniacs. Well, yeah, their ego runs them, which is corruption, so they put out an act. Then they get caught being hypocrites. Well, yeah, I know I'm a hypocrite, but okay, it's just the way it is because that's norm now. Yep, that became a norm to be a hypocrite. And you don't see anything wrong with it because you're too busy covering up your ego, right? Yep, which is corruption. Straight up corruption. Right in your face. Then they're mad at you because you call them a corrupt. You tell them they're corrupt. They can't be a truther. They're corrupt. Then I am too a truther. And then they start trying to argue and fight with you how they're honest. No, they're not. They're run by their ego. That's not honest. That's the exact opposite. Once again, in your face, congratulations. I swear to God, man, I'm telling you, man, I live in zombie land. If I leave my house, I got zombies around me. If I come online, there's zombies around me. The zombie apocalypse is real. Right in my face. And for the tool, man, people do anything for the tool. That's right. They'll do anything for the people who are enslaving them to give them some more of what's enslaved them to begin with. Yeah. What has kept us actually enslaved? The monetary system. The tool, money. That is what keeps us enslaved. I'm going to fight the New World Order. Just make sure to donate some of the people who are doing this to me as money to me. Or maybe I ain't going to have time to do this because I'll have to figure out another way to make some money. There it is. You've already lost. You couldn't fight back if you tried. And you fail to see it. You know, you got to be willing to hurt yourself in order to correct this problem. Everybody does. Everybody has to be willing to hurt themselves financially to correct this problem. Because you have to take the monetary systems away from the 13 families. You have to give it back to the people. Or you have to stop using theirs and create a new one. And all agree to it and start using it. It's always been a man-made construct from the day one. Doesn't matter if it's gold or silver. Gold and silver and diamonds and rubies and blah, blah, blah ain't worth squat. The only reason it's worth anything is because, once again, man-made construct gave it a value that you accepted. That you accepted. I understand that it's what the matrix we've been living in, and you need this to pay for the roof over your head and buy your food and blah, blah, blah. I'm not against that. But the point is that people that own it and run it are the people responsible for everything. Everything. They're responsible for the wars. They're responsible for the dumbing down, the massive brainwashing. They're responsible for the gender breakup. They're responsible for everything that's going on. Look if they can pull this phony BS on you and you all fall for it, and people are waiting to it, still can't figure it out. And the medical system, you're damn right, they know it's fraudulent. But you think your medical workers are in there going to tell you that? Nope, their job's on the line. Believe me, I go to the doctor, I go to the clinic, and I talk to these people when I'm there because I've talked to them about what I talk to about to everybody everywhere, and I don't give a fuck. I don't censor myself because they're in my face in real life. And I found a couple nurses that are actually, they know there's something wrong. They haven't put their finger on it, but they know I'm right, and they even acknowledge, no, there was no pandemic. Yeah, they even acknowledge it. And I say, yeah, I know. And you've been in hospitals and nursing clinics all over this country letting people go, and then they acknowledge that. Yep, they acknowledged it immediately. No hesitation that friends of theirs were laid off, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, of course. But still, it's their job, man. I'm sorry, but I'm just doing my job. I don't agree with what I'm seeing going on. I know there's something wrong, but this is my job, and I'm just doing my job, man. Yep, I'm just doing my job. I'm just following my orders. So if you're not willing to hurt yourself to stop what's going on, then you don't have to worry about it because they're going to hurt you instead. And you ain't going to like it when they hurt you. That's right, because there's an agenda behind all this. And they've been telling people this for a long, long time now. You know, they bragged to us that they would tell us and show us what they're going to do and that we would do nothing about it, and then they would do it. And that's exactly what they've been doing. They never lied to us. That's exactly what they've been doing the entire time. And you're doing exactly what they said you'd do. Rock, 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 rock. Yep, that's what you're doing. You're doing exactly what they knew you'd do. Oh, but I'm scared. What do we do? Well, I know we gotta keep competing against each other. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, that keeps us all divided, keeps us from standing together. I know it has to be the white man's fault, couldn't be a black man, because it's the white people that have white privilege. And they're abusing the black people. There you are. More propaganda, more BS. Hey, I've seen both sides of it. I've seen white people do wrong to black people based on skin color. But I've also seen black people do wrong on white people because of skin color. I've also seen Mexican people do wrong on white people because of skin color. Don't you get it? Don't you understand what I'm saying? It's division. What is wrong with recognizing other human beings for being human beings? Why do you got to focus on a skin color? That's because that's the life you were brought up, and that's what you're showing, and that's what you want to believe. You had no critical thinking skills of your own. That's right. You've been thinking with the brain in the box that you've been looking at your whole life. The brain in the box. Don't lose the remote to your box now. There might be another channel in that box that'll tell you some more fluff and stuff. And then some more fluff and stuff. That was for entertainment. Yeah, it entertained you, all right. It entertained the wool blanket right over your eyes to understand what's really going on, to not look the other way, to actually have real care and want to stop what's going on. Nobody cares. So that's why I said I don't want to hear anybody say they do care about their constitutional rights. I don't want to hear anybody say they care about their rights. Right now, in the House is a bill to eliminate the First Amendment. And I showed it to people, and it's legit. It's right on the government website. You couldn't get any more legit if you tried. Okay? And do we see anybody doing anything? Do we see anybody passing it out? Do we see anybody talking about it? No. Of course we don't. And that's not a red flag to you? Okay. Well, go ahead. Go ahead and go on down that road. It's over with, people. You've lost. You've lost. Face it, you're a bunch of losers. And I'm not being harsh when I'm calling you loser. And I'm not fucking saying names neither. I'm just telling you. That mentality is the mentality of a coward and a loser. But that's where we're at, isn't it? Have you looked around you? I'm sorry, most people don't know how to look around them. Most people are scared to look around them. They're afraid of what they might see. Pathetic. Yeah, absolutely pathetic. Afraid of what they might see. Let's see, I had to get up here for a little while just so I can rant and unload the stuff in my damn chest. I sit here and look around me and see what's going on. And it's pathetic. It's literally absolutely pathetic. It's sickening. It's disgusting. Ain't a damn thing I can do about it. I'm doing everything I can do, man. And I don't censor myself when I'm out in public. I don't care where I'm at. I talk about everything I talk about here online, right in people's face for real life all the time. Don't care. Don't care. I'm going to keep pushing it and keep spilling it until I'm not here. That's right. When I'm not here no more, then I won't be, but that's the way it goes. Because I don't censor myself for anybody else. Okay? Don't care. I'm not going to play into, well, that's taboo. You can't talk about that. That's taboo. No, that's corruption. That's called corruption. Taboo is corruption. Tell somebody they're not allowed to talk about it. You got to ask why ain't they allowed to talk about it? Nobody wants to answer that. Well, we're not allowed. Of course, see? Slave. Coward. That's what it comes down to. Slaves and cowards. Cowards and slaves. For the tool. Well, I would be above you if I made more of the people who's going to kill you's money. Okay. You're not too bright, are you? You're not too smart. It's like High Impact Flicks. Yeah, I know I ran about him a lot because he is the little next Alex Jones. He's not smart enough to figure out that what he's chasing is the Rockefeller and the Rothschilds. What he's chasing is the very people's money that are doing this. He's whining and complaining and telling you how Wake is and how all this is blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, the people behind making all that blah, blah, blah he's talking about are the bankers. And he has to have their tool. He's lost. He couldn't win if he tried. He's not smart enough. Because you got to realize that we have to take the monetary system away from or create a new one and walk away from theirs in mass numbers to do this. They're going to try to send their order followers to stop you. And the only way you're going to ever get by with it is have an army of people with you to battle back or have people to actually pull their heads out of their ass, use their real brains, be willing to forfeit and hurt their own selves in mass numbers all over the world and just simply, nope, not using yours no more. Nope, sorry, you're not allowed to have that no more. We're creating our own. Now, if that happened all over the world, they wouldn't have no power. See, they get their power from us. That's what you got to remember. Yeah, you're correct. There is. They're telling you there's a coin shortage. There's not a coin shortage. Never been a coin shortage. They're getting ready to give you digital currency. That now they'll know everything you ever do and they can really control you now. Oh, you don't want to believe the lie I told you? You're going to tell some truth, are you? Well, I'll just shut off your currency. Now you know why you need to take the monetary system back? You can't allow that. If you allow it to go digital, you might as well say, okay, well, I'm going to go and jump over the cliff. You have to have tangible something to trade with. Because they're not going to let you have anything else. They're not going to let you barter. You're not going to go grow food and he's going to go make products and you're going to trade back and forth. They'll tell you that's breaking a man-made rule again. Remember what I told you about the laws? Man-made rules that don't apply to them? Remember the them at the top, the somebodies are never prosecuted, but you'd be prosecuted immediately? Remember how I started this live stream? I told you you lived in a criminal cartel, no matter what country you're in. Who's running you is the mafia, the syndicate, the street gang, the Reds, the Bloods. A pack of criminals is all that's running you. You'll be never allowed to own your home, but they'll own theirs. And you'll see nothing wrong with that. They'll tell you your property taxes is to free your infrastructure. And you'll watch your freaking city who's collecting county, who's collecting all this money every year for their infrastructure, tell you how they got no way to fix the roads and they got money for that. You go, where's the money you just took from us? Oh, well, is that why the mayor lives in that nice big freaking mansion? Is that why all of you city workers are making so much money? Yep, there's where it went. Didn't go back into the infrastructure as they told you. Nope. Went into greed. To rise above somebody else. There you go. It's pathetic, but that's really what's going on. Now, well, you're correct. Power grid is going down. That's coming. I hope you're ready. And when they stop manufacturing stuff and you can't get batteries no more, then your solar went out the door too. Because you have to have batteries to maintain solar. See, so that will only carry you over for so long, and then you'll be screwed on that as well. And they know it too. They know it. But why do I say that? Because you've got to understand that these people have control of everything. Everything! Who do you think manufactures the batteries that goes into your solar equipment? That's right. Who owns that? Ah, that's right. The same people who own the monetary system right now. They have taken over everything, people. What part of that do not people not get? And they're going to tell you what you're allowed to have and what you're not allowed to have. What you're allowed to buy and what you're not allowed to buy. Don't believe me? Don't believe me? You just keep following your orders and watch and see what don't happen to you. You just keep following their marching orders and see what don't happen to you. One day you'll be sitting there saying, how the hell did Bill know that? It's what happens when you don't have critical thinking skills and you don't look into stuff and you don't pay attention to what's going on around you. It is very seeable. What I'm telling you is very seeable. It's in your face. But most people won't acknowledge that. You would rather keep calling each other names, fighting each other, and stay divided than you would to stand together. So, as long as you have that mentality, then you don't care about your children. You only care about your selfish selves. Because your children have no future. And you're taking that future away from them by being a coward. By fighting one another and staying divided. And by not standing together. It's going to take masses all over the world standing together, and it's going to take using your brains. It's going to take using your brains and thinking, how can we get out of this? The starting point has to be the monetary system. I don't care what anybody says, that is your starting point. Because that goes to the root cause. That goes right up to the root cause of all of this. You take care of that, you eliminate the root cause. Then you work your way down. For all the order followers that didn't give a flying fuck, accountability. To be held accountable for not caring. Well, but I had to make my money, Art. See, I told you, we got to be willing to hurt ourselves financially to once again be able to support ourselves after it's said and done. You got to get yourself ready. You got to have food and you got to have water. You got to have things to survive on while you're going to be broke. Because you're going to have to be willing to be broke. That's right. You got to be willing to be flat ass broke while you're fighting to make a new monetary system or to take away from the people who now have it. That's the starting point. I don't care where you're at, what country you're in, where you're at. That is the starting point if you ever want to correct what's going on. If you don't start there, you've lost automatically. That is how they got us where we're at. That is exactly how they got us where they're at. And that's exactly how they're going to take you out. You're going to pay for your own death. You sure are. Oh, yeah, you'll slave your butt off and take that money and use it to kill yourself and everybody around you. And not even know you are. You won't have the first clue you are for the majority of you. You better remember, money doesn't matter if it's paper, if it's gold, or it's silver, if it's copper. It doesn't matter. It's all a man-made construct. The entire system you grew up in was all man-made constructs. Real value is shelter, food, water, things you need to survive. No, not a laptop, not a PC, not a smartphone. That's not real value, sorry. No, video games isn't a real value. I just had to throw that out there. That's the fluff and stuff, okay? Movies isn't a real value. Hey, see, I'm not discriminatory. I even take things away from my own self because that's the way it has to be, man. You got to understand your priorities and put your priorities in the order they have to be in. And if you're going to be alive to enjoy any kind of entertainment type things first, your priorities need to be in order. And your priorities has to be survival, though you can't survive without food, water, or shelter. Depending on what climate you're in, you might get by with making a makeshift temporary shelter. You shouldn't be able to survive. If you're in the wrong climate, you ain't doing that. Okay? So, and there is no shortage. I don't care what they tell you. We're not running out of food. We're not running out. You know the reason the electrical grid's failing? The biggest reason it's failing is because, once again, man-made, man-engineered. Engineered to fail. We just don't do the deal to do maintenance. No, we don't do maintenance. That's how we do that. And the overpopulation, that's a big farce. That's a complete freaking lie. You could take the entire world's population, I'm talking everybody in the whole planet, and you could fit them all in the state of Texas. No lie. That's how overcrowded we aren't. Well, yeah, state of Texas would be overcrowded, but you could fit them all there. No lie. One state in the United States would hold the entire world's population. And then you're going to tell me we're overpopulated worldwide. You're going to tell me that fossil fuels is oil. No, it isn't. Dinosaurs' bones ain't oil. Freaking idiots. It just shows nobody ever used their head to think with. That's all that shows. There ain't no such thing as a fossil fuel. But see, that's what you hear being parroted all the time. Everybody says fossil fuel, fossil fuel. Because you don't know what you're talking about. You're repeating the lie. You're a parrot. You need a cracker? Polly, want a cracker? Here, Polly, I'll give you a cracker. What a joke. That's what I'm witnessing. I'm witnessing Polly. You want a cracker? Just like the United States. It's a democracy. No, it's never been a democracy. But y'all gonna keep saying it because somebody told you it. How many of you people had to say that I pledge allegiance to the flag when you were a kid in school? How many of you ever said the pledge allegiance to the flag when you were in school as a kid? How many of you were taught it as a kid? I was. Had to say it every day. Had to put a hand over heart and we had to look at the flag hanging on the wall in the classroom and say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Into the democracy. Nope, it was never into the democracy. It was into the republic for which it stands. That's right. It was never into a democracy for which it stands. Nope, sorry. Go look up the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag. Then you would know that it's into the republic for which it stands. But what do we hear everybody saying? Even in the courtroom, I heard them say it. Even a freaking judge in the courtroom called this country a democracy. But you got to remember, the courts are what? A criminal cartel. What is the FBI? A criminal cartel. What is the justice system? A criminal cartel. Run by the mafia that you call government. That's controlled by who? The 13 families. Who are who? Bankers. And this bloodline thing, well, there's a lot to it, and there's a lot of stuff I would suggest probably is real truth. Okay? But it doesn't matter if that's truth because it still comes down to what's right and what's wrong. Nobody belongs above nobody. It's not a damn competition, and nobody's above nobody. Nobody has a right to rule thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands or millions of people and place themselves on a throne and live in a big mansion while they place you in a little jail cell sized apartment and make you struggle and die in poverty while they're freaking having the best of everything. Tell you where you can and can't go. Well, they're going anywhere they want. Shove it up your ass. You ain't telling me what I can and can't do. Shove it in your ass. If I'm not doing harm unto somebody else, then the word is shove it. I don't care what you think. You don't own me, you don't control me, I'm not your slave. And I never will be your slave. There's your mentality. That's the mentality you need to have. Instead of believing this dog and pony show called Hollywood, what do you think government is? Mind control, actors, Hollywood. Trump's nothing more than a CEO of a corporation. He answers to his owner, the bankers. There's never been a right or a left. There ain't no Republican or Democrat. That's WWE right in your face again. It's Hollywood. It's all an act. It's a dog and pony show. Shut that damn TV off and throw it away. Or use your TV to play video games and nothing more. Or have a DVD player took to it or a Blu-ray or something and just watch movies. And play video games and don't turn it on other than that. Don't watch anything that anybody has to say on mainstream media ever again. If you did that, guess what wouldn't exist? What are you all putting a diaper on your face for? See, it wouldn't even exist. You wouldn't even know anything about it. And you wouldn't have been compliant because you wouldn't have been watching. And you wouldn't have gotten sick. How amazing that would have been, huh? But you couldn't shut it off, could you? I don't even own a TV. I haven't watched the TV in years. Because I'm smart enough to know better. What can I say? Anyhow, guys, I'm going to get out of here in an hour. I think this was a 1 hour rant. But I'll get out of here. I'll be back again another time when I feel like it. But hey, thanks. And I'm out of here.